All season, we've been taking in the worst takes from the NBA media landscape and ourselves, and we have compiled them into a gigantic bracket, and today we're going to be nominating the worst NBA take of the entire NBA season. Once we have our final two in this bracket, we are going to bring forth the two takes that Patrick and I had at the very beginning of the season that we honestly thought were the worst takes all year. Kenyon Martin saying that real hoopers know Kyrie Irving is better than Luka Doncic, which that has not aged well. And Isaiah Thomas saying Bol Bol is the Suns' best passer, shooter, and ball handler. We're going to be putting those in at the end of the bracket when we reach our final two. And now, let's get to the bracket. This has been a year in the making, this moment. This is like the first ever podcast ended with a best take, worst take. We've been introducing them all season. So the way you guys don't know how it works, at the end of every Monday episode, Patrick and I brought the two worst takes we could find from the NBA media landscape. We nominated which one we thought was the best that week. At the end of the month, we chose what was the worst of each month. And we've been doing this since October. And here we are in June, the conclusion of the season. And this, I guarantee you, will be a better finale than the actual NBA finals. I guarantee that. All right, so we have made a bracket. Here is the bracket.
You're seeing it right now?
You're seeing it right now. Are you guys ready? So the way this works, we've mixed in our worst takes of the month that we nominated over the course of the season with our own worst takes. Patrick and I had some
stinkers.
Stinkers. That happens when you talk about basketball 3 hours a week for the entire NBA season. So you guys have anything else to say, or should we jump into it?
I think it's time to turn it over to our ceremonial host, Max Friedman.
So I have constructed the bracket here, as you can see. So this first matchup that we have is a take, Rashad McCants saying that Reggie Miller has a better legacy than LeBron James.
Okay.
Pretty bad, I think we can all agree. Versus us all picking the Suns to win over the Wolves in the playoffs. Me picking against my own squad in that case.
Yeah, let's unpack this matchup right here.
Okay, so our take that the Suns were going to beat the Wolves was a horrible take.
It was pretty bad.
Literally, the Suns got swept. It was the complete opposite of what we predicted.
And it was based in mainly the regular season matchups. The Suns beat the Wolves, routed them on the last day of the season, and that was all we could remember.
Yeah.
Even though the Suns, the entire season, Yusuf Nurkic was very hit or miss, had no big men whatsoever to speak of. And really, in retrospect, I was saying the Wolves had no one to guard KD, and KD is not like that at all. He doesn't force the issue ever.
Okay, so I feel like a take where we just, pick one team to beat another team and we're so wrong that they got swept is really, really bad. But saying Reggie Miller had a better legacy than LeBron James is out of this world stupid.
Yeah, I have very big expectations for this Rashad McCants take.
So wherever you get picked in the NBA, that's where you should stay, and that means you're loyal to the game. So you respect Reggie Miller's legacy over LeBron's?
Yeah, because Reggie didn't have nowhere near the pieces LeBron had during his journey.
In this bracket, I think it has a very high upside here to really go deep into this bracket. I can see, I guess, if I squint what he's trying to say in that, Indiana fans will have a feeling about Reggie Miller, having his whole career that, no city can say about LeBron.
I key disagree. I think Cleveland definitely could.
That's true.
I feel like Rashad McCants is the worst take of these two takes, for sure.
Yeah, no, you're definitely right. You're not going to get a split decision here.
Yeah, we're going to try to have us make it to the second round at some point, but it's going to be hard. There have been some bad ones.
Yeah, I mean, we're just shoving ourselves into this bracket.
Yeah.
We really, manicured all these other takes. They had to beat 3 takes just to get on this bracket, let alone the ones from just the single week. Rashad McCants is so bad. Reggie Miller, his legacy pales in comparison
to LeBron James.
Maybe the best player of all time.
Okay, so that's a lock. We are going to move Reggie's legacy on to the next round. Next up, we have James's weird, unwavering support of Ben Simmons.
Well, no, hold on. Say the actual take. Say the actual take.
Okay, well, I mean, the take was specifically that, What was
Nets
it?
would make the 10 seed if Ben Simmons stayed healthy.
Okay, right.
Ben Simmons did not stay healthy, so you can't even say this was a bad take.
But this is just like a general take from you, like just supporting Ben,
I
still
am a Ben
believing.
Simmons. I don't know. It just doesn't make
Ben
sense to me that
Simmons
he's ass.
believer.
It makes no sense.
Wait,
Wait, what was it going up against?
Sorry, that take is. This is maybe not a great matchup, but it's up against the great take from Gil Arenas, one of our our NBA forefathers, saying defense. You learn college and defense. Where do Europeans go to college? They don't go to college.
Yes, Europeans can't play defense because they
Wait,
don't
this
go
was
to
the Europeans
college.
can't play defense because they don't go to college. Take.
Yeah.
I know what they can do. Get rid of all the Europeans.
What?
You just said it. You just said it. You go to college to learn defense.
Yeah.
What college do Europeans go to?
I'm with you. No, I didn't say
Right?
get
They
rid of
don't
them
go to
altogether.
college
Special talent.
whatsoever. They have no athleticism.
Yeah. Okay, come on now. Gilbert is way worse than my take. At least my take could have ended up being right.
You're lucky that you ran up against this one because this one is just like so out of pocket from Gilbert Arenas and just like not true at all. Like how many of the last 10 defensive players of the year have been on defense? And I know he was talking a lot about perimeter defense.
And you know what? You know what's made this take age even worse? Who's the most famous player to ever win Defensive Player of the Year?
Michael Jordan.
And guess what we just found out? It was fraudulent. Fraudulent depoy. Americans have to cheat to win Defensive Player of the Years. Europeans have ethical Defensive Player of the Years. I think that's what we've learned. So I think obviously the Europeans can't play defense because they don't go to college take is the worst.
Yeah, I mean, I do think it's pretty rotten thinking at this point that Ben Simmons can resurrect his NBA career in any way, but...
Well, you guys are misconstruing my take, though. I didn't say Ben Simmons was going to be an all-star. I said the Nets, the team, will make the 10 seed.
That's true. Although I do remember in a pre-Max world, there was some... Ben Simmons is so back in the first week of the year.
I'll always be the first to proclaim Ben being back. So I'll be back next season. I'll be on the bracket next year. Book it.
But yeah, it's definitely going to go to Gilbert Arenas for me in this round.
Cool. So we are advancing that take. Next up, Patrick said that the Clippers would rise to the occasion and play playoff level basketball, which we did not see occur in any. But
do we know what Patrick meant by rise to the occasion? Because I would argue they rose to their normal. Like all of the players played like their normal playoff selves. Westbrook bricked 1 million shots. Harden choked under the pressure. Paul George showed up for some games, and they all did their typical thing. They did rise to what we expected of them.
Would you want to defend yourself, Patrick?
Yes, I do. One, this was before Kawhi Leonard was just not gonna play in the playoffs.
That was always the game plan for Kawhi Leonard. That was always the plan.
And although he did play in the playoffs a little bit and was so wrong. He was not even close to being 100%. And James Harden had some good playoff games. He won them at least one game in this playoff. Who am I going against?
You are going against... So Shaq had a week where he said 3 really terrible things back to back. I included this as the Shaq triple threat bad take.
I remember this one.
So these 3 takes were Dame is a better spot-up shooter than Steph.
Bleh.
Bol could be Wemby, but he's just too lazy.
Bleh.
And don't trust women because they'll use it against you. Or don't be honest with women because they'll use your words against you later on, which is not a basketball take in all fairness, but it was just egregious.
It's just a terrible and very toxic take from Shaq. I'm very disappointed in you, Shaq, for making that take.
Open up to a woman?
Yeah.
Never. No, never.
When's the last time you think you've opened up to a woman?
We don't.
Yeah, your whole life?
Bro,
I'm telling you.
Man, got players like I can. Me and him related.
Yeah.
This is our first time meeting, but
I
I
can
just
tell you guys,
no,
there's some
no.
connection here.
Oh no,
They're going to tell you can.
because you know why?
But it's a trap.
Because you know why?
I'm trapped like a motherfucker.
No, I'm gonna tell you why. Because once you do, whenever something go down, they're gonna throw it back in your face.
Well,
That's why.
That's real.
Calm down. He's not the first. Bol was the first to do it. And I hate when you put out statements and then these earthlings, oh, Shaq's comparing Bol to Wemby. Not comparing. But after going back, I am comparing. And Wemby wants it more. Bol is lazy as but Bol can do everything Wemby can do and even a little better. Dribble behind the back, shoot the three, nice handle, the floater game. He's just lazy.
Well, there's a reason he's divorced.
Yeah.
Poor Shaq.
I mean,
Yeah, I used to say.
the power of 3 takes here is really saving my ass.
Yeah.
I think because I even think like the Bol take, although I don't believe it, it's like not terrible. Like you could easily say like
Yeah, I feel-
any player, if they had a better work ethic,
Could be better. I will say, I feel like the Shaq triple take is nowhere near as bad as I remember it.
Yeah.
They're all just kind of like,
I
well,
think that-
the woman is kind of just goofy. The 2 basketball ones, like I guess Bol, if he had Wemby's work ethic, probably could be a really fucking good NBA player.
Yeah.
I don't know if he could be Wemby.
Honestly, he took a huge leap during this season, just like as an NBA player. I had some very mean words to say for Bol earlier in this season, and he proved me wrong about that. But like, I don't know. Like, you don't think there was any world where if we had a healthy Clippers team, they rise to the occasion? Do you remember when they beat the Celtics earlier this season?
Bro, the Lakers beat the Celtics without LeBron and AD.
That's true. That's
The Heat
true.
beat the Celtics without Jimmy Butler.
That's also true. But okay, I need to also address one thing. You said that Shaq's take about being honest to women was a little goofy. Shaq's take... Be honest to everyone in your life.
Yeah, I will say,
especially the people you love most and could potentially have children with.
Yeah, also, I feel like you could say things to men and men would also use your words against you. I feel like that's kind of the culture on Twitter right now is incel men just using other people's words against them.
Yeah, no, I mean that's classic internet culture just all around. And I mean, I'm not saying Shaq is in celibate. I'm sure he is.
I'm gonna give it to Shaq.
Close.
I'm gonna give it to Shaq because how do you have all 3 of these in 1 week?
Yeah, that's true. And I'm pretty sure it was less than a week. Yeah, I think it was like 5 days or something.
That's pretty bad.
I mean, to be fair, he does have a microphone in front of his face like 8 hours of the day every day, but you know, you got to be better, Shaq. Dude.
Anyway. Yeah, Shaq triple take.
Okay.
It's gotta go. It's gotta go over.
Okay. I'm gonna advance that one. Next up, Kawhi is the worst superstar
Of all time.
of all time.
Stephen A. Smith, baby.
Stephen A. Smith said that Kawhi Leonard is the worst superstar of all time.
Let me break this down real simple. I'm not going to belabor this point. I'm dead serious when I say this. Kawhi Leonard is the absolute worst superstar that a team can have. Period.
It seems harsh to me. Seems like a bad take. Then James said Sixers in 6 and then doubled down on it after the game one.
after game 1,
So
I'd pick them again.
All right, put a 3 next to that. He's tripling down. I mean, I laid it out when we first went over this take. The Clippers have had worse superstars if we're talking about like injury-prone superstars in Bill Walton, like before Kawhi even came. And for Stephen A. Smith, Stephen A. Smith is not young. Stephen A. Smith knows all this stuff, but he's just looking for some explosive stuff to say and some way to shit on the Clippers because, you know, he's got the whole, he's got good relationships with Clutch and everything, but I'm a little split because this Knicks team was healthy, this Knicks team was really, really good. And this Knicks team won one game. And you still said Sixers in 6.
Well, what am I gonna do? Go back on my take after one game?
You did exactly that after the Timberwolves won their first game against the
Sixers.
Suns.
I remember the first 2 games in Sixers Knicks were fucking weird games that felt very unrepeatable. Whereas the way the Timberwolves won game 1 was like, this is gonna keep happening.
Yeah, game 2 was the DiVincenzo,
The DiVincenzo,
shot.
the not giving Nick Nurse the timeout game.
But you know what?
But the reason I picked the Sixers was because I said Maxey could outplay Brunson, which he did in the first 2 games. And I said they were going to dominate the Embiid minutes, which they did. The Sixers managed to do what I said they were going to do and still lose, which is the most Sixers thing ever. Ben Simmons.
I know this. Your process, like the process, James is coming out so in full power right now. Geez, which way do I go with this? Because I don't have any problem with you picking Sixers in 6 before the series. It's just the after game 1 thing that really.
But game 1, it wasn't like, oh, the Knicks dominated them. It was like it could have gone either way.
That's true. No, I'll go with Stephen A. Also, it's kind of a legacy thing. Like Stephen A. needs to
be on.
Needs to make the second round.
Wow. Okay. So in this left side of the bracket, only NBA media takes have survived. So you guys are looking good. Your takes are not looking that terrible.
Hey,
I mean, I don't want to sound like we're biased. I mean, clearly we're a little biased. But to be fair to us, before we keep going, like we're debating if me picking the Sixers or Patrick and I picking the Suns is on the level of these truly terrible takes, when all the people who have uttered these takes picked the playoff series wrong at some point.
That's true.
Oh yeah, that's
true.
So it's like we're taking like a normal bad take and we're putting it against these truly terrible takes and then trying to justify why they could even compete with them.
Yeah, it's very admirable that we're even putting our takes on.
Yeah. Well, what we're saying is that this podcast is better than most of the NBA media out there. Anyways, moving on.
Hey, Max said it. We didn't.
Okay, moving on to the next side of the bracket. James said that Anthony Edwards was not going to make the leap this year.
I did. And then I picked him for most improved 8 months later.
You corrected yourself. And then we have a take, Brandon Jennings saying that Malik Monk is better than Donovan Mitchell.
No, I am. But I just feel like, okay, 7 years in, right? Then I looked at that draft class, right? I looked at the draft class, and when I'm looking at the draft class, I'm looking at certain people that's in that draft class, and you got guys like Malik Monk. I think Malik Monk is a better player than Donovan Mitchell. Just off the fact, if you look at the stats, Malik Monk is averaging 15 points and 5 assists, and he's only getting about 26 minutes. So if he averaged 34 minutes, what the hell you think he'll be averaging in his numbers? So
Shout out Brandon Jennings for saving me here.
Yeah, if there was any of our takes that was primed to move on to the second round, James, I feel like this one was like near the top of that list. But it is so insane to say that Malik Monk
is better than Donovan Mitchell. Yeah.
Like, and especially to walk away from this past playoffs saying it. Because Donovan Mitchell looked like a top 5 player in the world in these playoffs before he got injured.
This isn't even close to me. I think this is a contender to go all the way.
Yeah, it is. Because it's like, I don't know. How does it make you feel? What's your name? How does it make you feel, Max? To know that
Anthony Edwards is my name. Nas Reed is my name.
To know that James felt this way. Like, put yourself back to that point. If you heard that take preseason,
let's
how would
think
you
about
have felt?
when I made this take? I made this take when Anthony Edwards made no visible improvements for Team USA. We're coming off the heels of him looking like the exact same guy.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, I hate to say it, but I can see where you're coming from, just because it's like he has made small incremental leaps over the past few years, but we're all waiting for the leap.
Yeah.
And I didn't know it was going to happen this year.
The hype was absolutely insane as well going into the FIBA tournament, because everyone was just talking about, Ant in Team USA practice he's become the man. And it's like, that's the kind of stuff we can't even see. I didn't think it was a bad take at the time. I
Yeah.
thought it was just kind of.
I mean, the main reason I felt that way was I just thought the passing wasn't going to get better. And I thought, I mean, I went over it when I said why he should be most improved. It's because like he literally was way better at mid-range. He was better at three. He was better finishing at the rim. He was just way more efficient, and he was a better passer. But I think in the Mavs series, we saw some of the limitations with the passing. But he definitely made a huge leap. I was definitely wrong.
Yeah.
But
You couldn't really have known that it was going to happen, I guess.
yeah, just because when he played with Team USA, it was the same. Like, this guy doesn't seem like he's very efficient. It doesn't seem like he's a good passer. It was like, I just don't really see it because this was supposed to be his breakout moment this summer, and it didn't happen playing against the Jamins. All right.
Okay.
So Brandon Jennings
Yeah.
moves on to the next round.
Easy. Okay, so next up we have Gil Arenas, our friend, saying that
The
Jokic, Jokic is the worst MVP of all time.
Now, I do understand when they say this about Jokic. Jokic is probably statistically, when it comes to overall game, the worst MVP winner. He is the worst MVP winner in the last 40 years.
Correct. That's what the take was. Yeah. Or no, the worst MVP of the last 40 years, more specifically.
So basically of all time.
Yeah. Only around 75 years, this league of ours.
Versus James saying that that the Clippers should start Russell Westbrook. That was a James take, correct?
That was surprisingly a James take.
It was something took over your body at that point. And I think it was James Harden.
I think I got saved.
Spurning your 76ers.
I got saved again.
Yeah, I mean, like,
Jokic is definitely not the worst MVP of the last four. That's a truly terrible hater take.
Yeah.
it's such a hater take. Like, what is this dude's problem?
Like, it's crazy because it's like the opposite. It's like we should be debating where Jokic ranks among the best like 5 MVPs, not the bottom 5.
Like, do you think, like, can we take just 1 second? Do you think Gilbert Arenas, like, believes the hot takes that he makes all the time?
Yeah.
You think so? And because there's like this conspiracy in me that I'm like, him and he went and got Rashad McCants and he's just looking for people that are like, will you say this line?
I feel like if Gilbert Arenas
will go
played
viral?
I feel like if Gilbert Arenas played in the 80s, he'd be like, Larry Bird's not actually good.
Yeah. I mean, but that's a very layered thing.
Yeah, but I mean, this is the pattern. I'm observing a pattern, Patrick.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, like, just there's no. I mean,
it's just
who
a
would
terrible
even-
take.
Steve Nash would probably be the first guy that comes to my mind of like obviously worse than Jokic.
Westbrook,
Rose, all those guys.
Yeah.
There's just
a lot of the guards.
There's no way you can
Like, also, I know people are gonna get crazy, but like, sorry, straight up, Jokic is better than Dirk. Like, he's better than Dirk, straight up.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, he's better than 06 Dirk. Like, there's a lot of guys. Jokic is just clearly better. I think his MVPs were better than both of Giannis's MVPs. Like, this is a crazy take.
Yeah, I mean, I would say Jokic is like easily better than David Robinson.
Yeah.
Karl Malone.
Way better.
Like,
Yeah.
I don't know why there's such like apprehension to say that the guy that has won a Finals MVP, 3 MVPs,
is literally breaking every advanced stat model we've ever come up
and
with.
just raw numbers. Like, he averages like 26 points a game, 12 rebounds, like 8 assists. He's insane.
He's more efficient than Shaq, despite taking a lot of jump shots.
Yeah.
This is insane. Yeah, it's such an awful take to say Jokic is the worst MVP, and I'm already looking ahead to Malik Monk is better than Donovan Mitchell versus that as like a true heavyweight second round matchup.
Yeah, that is a great matchup.
Okay.
Okay, cool.
Next matchup.
Next matchup. So we have another Gil Arenas take.
Gilbert Arenas. Do we have to ban him from best take, worst take next year?
We might need
Like,
to.
does the champion get a 1-year pass where it's like no matter what you say, you're off the take thing? Just so you don't win every year.
Next year we'll compile a list of non-Gilbert Arenas bad takes and go against all Gilbert.
Oh
Arenas
yeah, next
bad
year instead of
takes.
us on one side, it'll be Gil on one side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
God. I mean, he's just gonna win. Like, what are you doing?
I don't know. Let's
It's
see.
like
let's
Western
see.
Conference versus
We can do
Eastern
better
Conference.
research next year. We'll really watch a lot of ESPN.
Oh, you don't
do that
already?
to my brain.
I'm sure Kendrick Perkins had a couple that slipped through the cracks.
Oh God. Good
Okay,
old
what did he say this time?
I have a Kendrick Perkins take. I think Kendrick Perkins ruined Zach Lowe.
No, I kind of like
Every
their,
time
like, weird
Zach Lowe
mutual
on his
respect.
podcast is like, well, Perkins, I'm like, if you waste one more fucking minute talking about something Kendrick Perkins said, Zach, I'm turning the shit off. I don't give a fuck. No one cares about what that idiot has to say.
Yeah.
I'll take it. He does say that like constantly.
He constantly does it as if it's something that requires being like attended to.
Yeah. Anyways, Gilbert Arenas, he said KD is not a superstar. That's a pretty
Straight
bad take.
haterade from DMV.
Straight haterade.
Who are those two superstars in your book right now?
Steph and LeBron.
They're at the superstar tier right now.
Like it's a whole different category. It's a whole different category.
So Kevin Durant's not a superstar?
He's
Luka
he was.
Doncic is not a superstar?
He's creeping into that.
Luka not
Joker's not a superstar?
Hell no.
Giannis is not a
Joker's not even a star.
Giannis is not a superstar?
Joker's not even a true star yet.
And Patrick said that after the Bradley Beal trade, that the Suns have the best offense in the league, and also just vehemently defended.
You
I
way
said
worse
that
than
the
that,
Suns would have the best offense of all time.
Okay, wow, that's way worse. Okay.
And, let me defend that part by saying I meant that as like an offensive rating thing, which literally that has been broken the last 3 years. So I don't think that's as like outlandish as we could make it sound on a headline. And I still will fucking defend the Bradley Beal trade as being a good asset play. Like, obviously it didn't work out, but like any day of the week at that time, the guy who we thought Bradley Beal was, I will trade old ass Chris Paul and Landry Shamet and second round picks for. I'm sorry. I'll do it.
I just don't agree with that. I don't know, man. 55 million, no trade clause, hurt. I'll be damned.
That. All right, Gilbert Arenas, I need you to ISO right now, like you did.
Saying like KD is not a superstar because he didn't even mean it in the current context of like, as of right now, I don't feel like Kevin Durant's a top. Like, that's the important thing. I think you could make that take right now if you're saying like KD's not a superstar and that I think he can like drag a team to the finals.
Yeah, he's not a top 5 player.
Then sure, it's not a bad take, but it's important to remember from the context that he was talking about superstar and like a marketability and everything context, which Kevin Durant is like, you know, he's probably third behind LeBron and Steph in terms of like popular players.
He's
of the
so
last
famous
15 years,
still.
so famous.
Yeah. ESPN, they're constantly
talking about Kevin
KD.
Durant. People on Twitter cannot stop talking about Kevin Durant.
Well, he's kind of feeding the flames on that one on Twitter specifically.
But that's part of it.
Yeah.
You know?
A little bit, but then people will be like, oh, Kevin Durant hasn't even got married yet, only 2 rings. Like, dude, shut the fuck up. Leave Kevin Durant alone. I don't know. I that's such a bad take.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a terrible. Like, KD, by all measures, is like you said, one of the most popular players right now. But like, I think he's definitely. If you ask a random person on the street, like, name 3 NBA players, it will probably be LeBron James, Steph Curry,
Kevin Durant.
If it's like active players, probably Kevin Durant.
I feel like also, like, if you really want to think about it in terms of like where he is on a basketball sense, I feel like Kevin Durant has had more years in his career where he was a top 5 player than years in his career where he was not a top 5 player.
Absolutely. And he's going to end up, you know, top 10 scoring all time. Like, if we want to get into the basketball stuff, like, he's pretty much been always successful.
Yeah.
Which is wild. So I think everybody wants to know, James, where are you going?
Oh, KD, the KD take.
Okay.
It's so bad.
I was a little nervous that you were going to pick.
Well, I thought, you know, the thing about your take, though, was I think it is important to remember the context that, like, offensive rating has gotten the record broken literally every season. And I think people are probably expecting it to be like, what teams break this record, but like one of the teams that broke this record was like the Mavs from 2 years ago, broke the all-time record for offensive rating. So that's why I don't think it's actually the most unhinged thing to think the Suns could do that too. Especially in the preseason, teams look like they had no idea how to guard. The Suns
they
in
looked
in the
sick.
preseason. The Suns looked kind of crazy.
Oh, they looked so sick.
You want to go back in time?
I do want to go back in time. I also chose the Suns to win the championship at that point.
Yeah, because I think someone listening might be like, "You guys are giving so much context to your takes, but not these takes." There's no context for the KD not a superstar.
How you
Like
gonna
we
defend-
provided the full context. We even said this wouldn't have been a bad take with the contexting that was not provided.
Did he say it while the Suns were like getting swept? Is that what it was, or?
No, he said it really more as like a career. He wasn't looking at it in this
Okay.
one season. He was looking at it as Kevin Durant's whole career. He didn't feel like it was a superstar because of like marketability. It was also when he tried to make the take sound better by being like, I wasn't a superstar. And it was like, dude, Gilbert, you were so popular back in the day. What are you talking
You
about?
were on NBA Live, man.
You're the cover athlete, dude. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. Hey, if that's
When he tried to
conversation-
like do a cell phone to be like, see, it's a good take. And it was like,
Yeah, no, I wouldn't agree with that either. I think Gilbert Arenas was totally a superstar. Would you say John Morant is not a superstar? No, he's definitely.
yeah, kids
a
love
superstar.
John. I think Ja's Seeker's still better than everyone's now that Kyrie's not a Nike athlete.
Yeah.
Yeah. Crazy. Okay.
All right. Well, Katie, you are a superstar, and don't let anybody ever tell you anything different. Next up,
But you don't have the best offense of all time.
we have Colin Cowherd saying that Jason Tatum had a 2-year window to win a championship, and he missed the window.
Was his window 2 years ago? Was that the window to win his Grand Slam? Because I'm here to tell you, he ain't Jokic. Tatum's good. He not Jokic. And I'm here to tell you, he not Giannis. And I'm watching Wemby in the third quarter last night. And in 2 years, he's not going to be Wemby. Sorry, not. He's not offensively Luka.
But I gotta say, like, it to my detriment, like the Mavericks just straight out proved me wrong here. And it's not even to say like, oh, they just like snuck into the finals. They had legitimately the hardest path to the finals. I was very skeptical about PJ Washington, who came up huge time and time again.
Except for in the finals.
I think maybe the correct take would have been that they couldn't have won the finals, but I don't think that's even a completely fair take, because I think if you can make it to the finals, you can win.
Yeah, I think
just
they could
depends
have.
on the year.
I think had they gotten a different team that didn't have this 5-out offense that kind of broke their defense, they could have won the finals.
Yeah,
against a different Eastern team.
I think it's kind of like, at this point, if you're good enough to make it to the finals, it all comes down to matchups.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the Mavs would have necessarily beaten any of Milwaukee, Miami, Sixers, or Knicks, but I think they could have. I think they would have had a much better shot against those teams than Boston.
Yeah.
But no,
yeah.
the Cowherd take is just truly terrible.
Yeah, it is. It is really bad. How could you say that this Boston core, like, how old is Jason Tatum?
27, 26.
Jaylen Brown is 28.
Yeah, also, like, this is a new Celtics team, kind of, adding Porzingis, adding Drew Holiday. Like, that's a truly terrible take. Speaking of bad Ben Simmons takes, did you guys see that one Cowherd take that's getting, like, circulated on Twitter?
Oh, what? Can you remind me what it
Colin
is?
Cowherd, I guess, a couple years ago said, "Move out of the way, LeBron. Ben Simmons is here. I haven't gotten the feeling of watching a player like this since LeBron James, Magic Johnson, and Michael Jordan." Whoa. And it's like 3 minutes of Colin Cowherd just glazing Ben Simmons. Whoa. And even the adamant Ben Simmons truther in me was like, LeBron James?
Yeah, that's insane. I used to really like Colin Cowherd talking about basketball, but in the past like couple seasons, it really ever since like LeBron was like squarely like off the mountaintop of like the thing you have to talk about all the time, I just feel like, bro, you don't know ball. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
He's okay on NFL stuff.
I'm going to give Nick Wright best take for his investigative journalism into Michael Jordan's fraudulent depoy season.
Nick Wright and Tom Haberstroh was the one that wrote that article, which like set
Can we
it
talk
all
about how
aflame.
crazy that is?
Yes, explain to the
So
audience.
for those of you who don't know, basically Michael Jordan's whole Defensive Player of the Year is like this total sham job where people are finding box scores where like a team will have 3 turnovers and then Jordan will have 4 steals, which obviously is not possible.
Yeah, well, and it's like they were giving him steals when like
Scotty would steal it. Yeah.
Scotty would steal it, or the ball would just go out of bounds and be a turnover, but they would, instead of just making it a team turnover, they would make it a steal for Michael Jordan. And it was in the peak of
And he was averaging twice as many blocks and steals at home than he was on the road.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, I feel like the NBA, I know we're getting on a sidetrack, but I have to say, the NBA needs to like actually pay someone to go through all of John Stockton's games and fix the fucking record. It's really stupid. The assist record is this complete, like, just not true. And it's this unreachable record because of some bullshit for a fucking anti-vaxxer. What are we doing, NBA? Have some fucking balls. Adjust that shit.
It's super interesting too, because I feel like the only sport you ever hear about stuff like this for is baseball, in that like the stats can manipulate the legacies and stuff. And like even today, I was just watching a video of like rebounds for LeBron. I think it was 2 seasons ago, where like he's just like tipping it and they're giving to the rebound to LeBron, even though he's not controlling the ball at all. And I don't know, this like stat keeper subjectivity is very interesting. Like in a time, like in the future, if we have like AI, like counting all these stats where it's just like super objective, what does that make the league? You know, do we have these like insane like rebound, assist totals? I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Moving on.
So now
We're in round 2.
Yeah, round 2. Things are starting to heat up. So let's go back to...
we didn't give ourselves any takes going into the second round.
Yeah, that might have been admin error slightly. I think I could have calculated the matchups a little bit better. But, you know, the general point stands that these NBA media talking heads are just constantly spewing the worst takes possible.
Please flame us in the comments.
Yeah, flame me specifically. So Reggie Miller's legacy is greater than LeBron's versus, Europeans don't go to college, so they don't know how to play defense.
Europeans don't go to college, so they don't know how to play defense is the worst take. Because some Europeans, like Franz Wagner, do go to college, and they are still bad at defense.
I really didn't think you were going to go this way.
Well, it's the layer of like xenophobia.
Yeah, I think that is that makes the most sense, going with Europeans don't play defense, because it's just
not true. They've won all the
not
decoys.
true.
Yep.
Even if you're just talking about perimeter defense, they play defense.
Yep.
Okay, moving on. Next up, we have the Shaq triple threat of bad takes versus Kawhi is the worst superstar.
I feel like this is the weakest second round matchup.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, one aspect of the Kawhi is the worst superstar, I believe Stephen A was saying in all of sports.
Oh, in all of sports. I'm not as familiar with other sports to know that.
Yeah, neither am I. I mean, I guess, would you call Tim Tebow a superstar?
No, never. I would have never. And maybe in college he's a superstar. As an NFL player, no.
Yeah, no. And then, okay, so our Shaq's triple threat was don't be honest with women. They'll use it against you. Bol should have worked harder and he would be Wemby.
Not a bad take.
And not a terrible take. Not a great one, but
Dame is a better spot up shooter than Steph.
And Dame is a better spot up shooter.
You know what? None of both of these are going to get waxed in the next round by the Europeans can't play defense because they didn't go to college. So I don't know. You want to roll the dice? You want to flip a card? It doesn't really even matter.
Yeah. I mean, either one would get waxed. I mean, you know what? I am a man that has been in a relationship for 7 years. So I have to say that it is very, very important, once again, to be honest with your partners in this world. They may use it against you, but guess what you have to do first for them to use it against you is you have to fuck up. So I'm voting for Shaq's triple take.
Yeah, I feel like Shaq says some things that piss me off a lot. So let's throw Shaq in there.
Okay, cool. Shaq is advancing on to the next round.
Okay, this I feel like this is the heaviest hitting
This
matchup.
is the Western Conference.
This is like the, I don't know, what's like the greatest fight? This is like, I don't know, the final time Magic and Bird met in the finals.
Yeah, it's like Rockets versus Warriors in 2017.
We have Brandon Jennings' take that Malik Monk is better than Donovan Mitchell versus Gilbert Arenas' take that Jokic is the worst MVP of the last 40 years.
Yeah.
These are both, I honestly think either of these could win the whole thing.
Yeah,
I'm a little bummed
too.
out. They're meeting in round 2.
They're both objectively wrong. Like, I don't like, can you try? I know it's going to be tough. Can you try and make the case that Malik Monk could be better than Donovan Mitchell? Like, if he had,
I don't think there's a single aspect of basketball that Malik Monk is better at.
Yeah, I don't think so either. He's definitely not better at defense. He might be
like, what's crazy with
little
this
bit
is
more
like
athletic.
I feel like Malik Monk has like some crazy cool athletic dunks. Donovan Mitchell has some fucking awesome posters.
Yeah, he does. He really does. And it's like, what he was getting at is that, like, he was kind of saying if Malik Monk had the minutes load of Donovan Mitchell, because Malik Monk is coming off the bench, that he could produce in the same way. But I also don't think that's true, because Malik Monk is playing next to two guys that draw so much defensive attention in Sabonis and Fox. And I get that Donovan Mitchell has really, really good teammates as well, but he is always squarely number one on the defensive game plan.
Also, the Kings get outscored every minute that Monk is on the floor, and literally for Mitchell's entire career, he has been one of the most winning regular season players we've seen.
Yeah, literally from his rookie year.
Yeah, from rookie year on, like whatever team Donovan Mitchell's on, just shoe them in as a good regular season record. Like every year, he's so good and so impactful. But Jokic is the worst MVP. It's crazy. I think this is the problem with like basketball is like there's like the two types of basketball fans, like ones who kind of understand impact beyond like aesthetics and box score, and NBA fans who still are just very dumbed down in the way they look at the game.
Yeah, well, and these are professional basketball players. Well,
I mean, Gilbert wasn't known for his basketball IQ.
Yeah, I know that may be true. I mean, he did go to U of A, which is pretty rough. Let's go Devils.
Dude,
I can't justify
Monk over Spida. I don't
Jokic.
know. The Jokic one is crazy.
The worst MVP.
These
Why?
are both so bad. I don't know how to solve this one. Like, I genuinely, these are both, I honestly think, like, these are the worst two on this bracket we have.
I'm picking Jokic being the worst MVP as the take that should go on, just because, like, I feel like I can kind of squint and see the Malik Monk thing, even though I don't agree with it at all. Like, sure, maybe there's this universe where like Malik Monk goes to another team and like just Steve Nashes and just completely breaks out because the team is built perfectly around him, and like there's a glitch in the matrix and he shoots 50% from 3 on pull-up threes over the course of the year. That it's not true, but like there's just no way I can justify Jokic being the worst MVP.
See, I'm not going to defend you. I can't defend the take. I will say this. I'm going to offer some perspective on the Malik Monk is better than Donovan Mitchell take. All season, we've been joking about how real hoopers know Kyrie Irving is better than Luka Doncic.
Mm-hmm.
That is a better take than Malik Monk is better than Donovan Mitchell.
Yeah. Especially because they're the same role. They're the same role, except one is built like Brian Dawkins, and the other one is skinny and
Can we talk
a bench
about,
player.
I just got to bring this up, man. It's always the fucking one or two guards who had no passing vision, who shot the ball a lot, who literally always have the worst takes.
Yeah.
Like, bro, I'm going to guarantee you Russell Westbrook is like the champion of this segment 10 years from now.
I don't know. Udonis Haslem had some pretty rough ones throughout the year.
But he had some good ones too.
Yeah, that's true.
I don't think Gilbert's had a good one. Max, you want to break the tie here? I don't like you guys know I'm an unabashed Jokic lover.
You are.
I am, but I don't know. Saying Malik Monk is better than Donovan Mitchell is crazy to me.
I think I have to go with Malik Monk.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, Patrick, I'm with you. I
No,
think
hey.
that one wins the other side of the bracket for sure.
I don't
Yeah.
think it's not a crazy take to take the other one. I feel
I
rolled
yeah.
the dice.
No, this was
So Malik Monk being better than Donovan Mitchell goes on to the quarterfinals.
I don't even understand how did that even get brought up?
I think it was during the playoffs, and they were talking about Donovan Mitchell. I don't know.
There's no context that would forgive that take. Like, it doesn't matter. Okay. Next up, we have KD is not a superstar facing up against Tatum missed his window to win the finals.
Gilbert Arenas was 3 of these?
Yes.
Wow. Okay. Okay, the Tatum missed it is so hilarious.
Yeah.
Right now. Because I feel like what made that take so stupid wasn't even anything to do with Jason Tatum himself. It was really more to do with the Celtics team context. Because you'd say if Jason Tatum missed his window, it implies that he didn't play well enough when they had a window. And now that the team around him is worse, the window is closed. But the opposite is true, where the team around him only got better, so therefore the window got extended.
Yeah. Yeah. And the other thing is, like,
and
how can you say that in, like, literally this was the best regular season of the Boston Celtics when they've had Jason Tatum.
Yeah.
And they showed no signs of slowing down at any point during the season.
Yeah.
It's all just residual, like, oh, they lost in the playoffs last year. How could they win this year?
I'm trying to unpack the take because, like, it almost has nothing. Because it feels like it has nothing to do with Jason Tatum. You're implying that because of what he did in the past, and now the team. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's such a stupid take with that in mind.
And then
KD is not a
KD
superstar. It's just idiotic.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy.
It's like, you know what I mean? I don't want to be like. I mean, these are both so stupid.
That's the point.
Okay, but like, all right, I'm trying to be like, how do I rank one that has like, it's really stupid? Like, all right, like Tatum missed his window is stupid. It's just objectively stupid. KD is not a superstar. It's like it transcends stupid. It's like its whole other plane of like, I don't know. It's like, were you on drugs? Like,
to make this claim, you've got to believe a couple things. One of them is that, like, he has had too much help. He's never had to be the guy. Like, that kind of, I guess, goes into like the classic
I think that's part of it.
definition of a superstar. And then, I don't know, the player mobility element of it, of that, like, oh, like, superstars stay home and superstars, like, have the other players come to them.
Right.
Which I think is, like, very outdated mindset. But honestly, I'm going with Cowherd here. I just can't see how you can say the Celtics window was closed with your two best players are under 30 and so are...
And the team added Drew Holiday and Kristaps Porzingis.
Yeah. And got a first-round pick as well to take on those.
Yeah, the Tatum missed his window is
right.
insane.
Nice work, Colin Cowherd. Okay. We're getting into the thick of it. So next up we have Europeans don't go to college, so they can't play defense versus Shaq's triple threat of
I
bad
think
takes.
it's the Europeans don't play defense.
Yeah.
It has to be. I mean,
Yeah.
they've won all the depoys. They've won the legitimate depoys.
What's one of the best defenses that we've ever seen? The beautiful game Spurs, which was just chock full of Europeans playing connected defense. You know, like, defense isn't all about...
You got to understand these chucking two guards like Gilbert and Brandon Jennings, they don't play defense. They don't understand what goes into defense.
Yeah.
Maybe he doesn't know that France is part of Europe.
Maybe.
Sorry, too mean.
No, it was...
It's possible, though. Possible.
It was a perimeter, like, I will say they really, like, harped on the perimeter aspects of defense more than big man. But, like, I mean, Giannis can block out the sun of anyone on the perimeter. I mean, Manu Ginobili was an amazing defender. Like, where you are from has nothing to do where fucking Patrick Beverley went to Europe played defense in Europe, and then only after then did he come back and have a real career. Same thing with PJ Tucker, one of the best like role playing defensive players.
Yeah, it's just a terrible take.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, on the other side of the bracket, we have Malik Monk is better than Donovan Mitchell versus Tatum missed his window. The Monk one for me.
Yeah, that one's really bad. That one's really bad. Because like I guess you can like convince yourself that the Celtics don't have enough ISO scoring. Is that the thing?
I don't know. Now that I'm actually processing the Tatum one versus the Malik Monk one, I'm like, nah, the Malik Monk one is so fucking stupid.
Yeah.
It's just so dumb.
It's like what's the like big man equivalent to that?
Like, I don't know. Ivica Zubac is better than
Bam.
than fucking Nikola Jokic.
Yeah, Jesus Christ. Okay, yeah, I'll give it to Malik Monk over Spider as well. A Spider.
Oh, hard R there, Patrick. European players can't play defense because they don't go to college versus Isaiah Thomas saying that Bol Bol is perhaps the best passer, ball handler, and shooter on the Phoenix Suns.
I mean, I gotta give it to Isaiah Thomas here. I don't know. The European college one is so bad. But like, how can you say that Bol Bol is a better ball handler than Devin Booker,
and a
Bradley
shooter.
Beal, and a better shooter than Kevin Durant? Like literally one of the best shooters of all time.
The part about it that is the worst is, did they say passer too?
Yeah, I think so.
Passer is the part where it's just like, dude, come on. Bol Bol doesn't pass.
Yeah, Bol Bol never passes. He got a little bit better.
See,
at it this season.
the European college one.
But are we getting tired of pushing on the European college one? Are we just like reveling in the new blood?
Said, I remember when that got said, we were just like, oh my, but it's okay. Here's the thing.
It was so bad that we didn't even want to talk about it.
I feel like we're doing a disservice to the whole bracket if Gilbert doesn't win it, but I don't think he's actually going to win it.
He might not.
But he by far is the worst take MVP.
Yeah. I mean, also a lot of these, like the Rashad McCants one, the Brandon Jennings one, the Kenyon Martin one that we're just about to get into, all of those on Gil Arenas' podcast.
No way.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we'll hand out the MVP. Can you make Max? I need you to make a graphic that's like the worst take that won, and then also the tournament MVP.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like Gilbert's aura just causes other people to become stupid.
I think that's it.
Yeah. Europeans can't play defense because they don't go to college versus Bol Bol is the best. Dude, the Bol Bol take is it's unhinged. And you know what makes the Bol Bol take? You know what? I'm going to give it to the Bol Bol take, and here's why. Isaiah Thomas was once an NBA general manager and has apparently been an advisor to Matt Ishbia in aspects of managing the team. And I feel
apparently there has been no reporting that he has been an advisor for the team. He is on his mortgage company's board, but there's been no
well, Patrick,
paper
the way
trail.
the team has been managed lately,
I know it's very Isaiah Thomas core.
I got to give it to that one. It's just so stupid, and I feel like it's this weird thing too with Kevin Durant, where I don't know why. I mean, I get why people like to make fun of Kevin Durant, but he's so fucking good at basketball, man.
Yeah, he's so good at basketball.
And I feel like, with
and so is Devin Booker.
So is Devin Booker, but Kevin Durant's pretty fucking tall. It's like a similar build and everything. So it's like a way easier objective way to just be like, okay, you really think he's the best on the team? Let's just go one guy at a time. We'll start with Kevin.
Also, you say what you will about Bradley Beal. He can dribble the hell out of a basketball.
Yeah, he could shoot the ball.
In a lot better than Bol Bol, I'd say.
The Bol Bol take is fucking awful.
Bol Bol has been a mainstay of this entire video. So
that's in the finals.
Yeah, I'll put it in the finals.
Okay, so Isaiah Thomas is going to the finals.
Isaiah Thomas is going to the finals again.
Okay, next up.
We've got Malik Monk is better than Donovan Mitchell versus real hoopers know Kyrie Irving is better than Luka Doncic. See, okay, the Mitchell one is worse, but it is worth noting that Kenyon Martin implied that if you believe that Luka is better than Kyrie, you don't know anything about basketball, which I feel like puts it on the level.
Yeah, that is pretty rough. I mean, these two takes that are in the finals or like the final four really pushed us along on this project.
This is what I really hate about a lot of basketball culture is I think a lot of people be like, well, Irving is a better player. You know, he's got a better handle. But it's like, bro, but Luka's handle is so much more effective at getting him wherever the fuck he wants to go on the court, which is ultimately the whole point of dribbling the ball. So effectively, he is a better ball handler, too, than Kyrie Irving.
Also, it's like that take is a lot easier to swallow right now because we just saw the Mavericks go through an entire... But he said this, like, I think in the first...
Like, I think he said it right before the season started.
Yeah, right before the season started. On the heels of us seeing Kyrie Irving do virtually nothing in terms of, like, being effective in the playoffs over, like, a 5-year span. With all that being said, it's really not close for me. I gotta give it to the Malik Monk being better than Donovan Mitchell because I think it really implies the same thing as Real Hoopers Know. Like, it's very Real Hoopers Know coded.
Yeah. It's
Real Hoopers took the biggest L's of all time this year. Like, the Real Hoopers displayed zero basketball knowledge.
I don't know. They really reveled in the Jokic losing in the first round against, or the second round against Anthony Edwards, who is a very Real Hooper player.
You know what's crazy though? I don't think Anthony Edwards will age into a Real Hooper player.
Well, if he does,
I hope he doesn't.
If he does, that's probably going to be the deepest playoff run we see from him.
A Real Hooper?
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I feel like we haven't had a Real Hooper run, like a Real Hooper go and win the championship since Kobe in like 2008.
And he had like shedded, so I don't know. Actually, I take that away.
Also, Kobe had pretty good takes consistently after he retired.
Yeah.
He was he was a best take machine.
2010, Kobe had a Real Hooper run, capitalized by his famous air ball into Ron Artest's arms to put away the Suns. One of my favorite moments. Where are you going? I'm going with Monk over Spida. I'm sorry.
I mean, Monk over Spida is a worse take than Kyrie over Luka, but I can't get over the Real Hooper thing because it's just this like implication that if you didn't play in the NBA, you're not qualified to talk about it. But we've seen day in and day out that usually the former players are the ones who can't objectively think about the game. And a lot of the times people from that dead ball era, that early 2000s era, seem to have no understanding of how stats work.
Yeah. They're all fake. They're just numbers.
You know what I think it is? I think it's because they played in the era where everyone's stats are just atrocious. Mm-hmm. And nowadays we're like, oh, efficiency. That is a good way to win basketball games. And then everyone from the mid-2000s is shooting like 20% from the field.
Yeah.
And so it's like it's so easy to discredit their entire era, like even more than the 90s.
And, you know, I will say their numbers are probably used to discredit them too much. Like, I think guys like I used to, before I like really sat down and watched Allen Iverson, I was like, look at this guy's stats. Like, how can you like say, and like only probably 10 guys in NBA history could go on a run like he did in 2001. But that doesn't like change the fact that like you being so like dismissive of stats in this era is like you're just completely missing the mark.
Yeah. Okay, Malik Monk is better than Donovan Mitchell is the winner there. That really is bad. I feel like we knew it was bad at the time. I think that's the one that made me leave the set for a second.
Yeah, that was that one's so bad.
Okay, so now that we're in the finals, we're gonna nominate the tournament MVP, and I think it's Gilbert Arenas because he didn't make it.
Yeah, he didn't make it. Somehow he
had the most nominees.
I feel like this video is produced by Gilbert Arenas. It's brought to you by Gilbert Arenas. And this is his first year having a podcast, right? I think this was like...
Was it his first year?
Yeah, his first season.
Yeah, Gilbert, I don't know. Like, I guess, guys, let us know. Should we allow Gilbert into this next year? Just because he took up almost one out of every like 4 spots on the bracket.
Yeah,
and this some of these are from his podcast that were from the guests.
he produced other ones.
We could name this tournament after Gilbert Arenas in the future.
I think that's what we should name the trophy
Yeah.
for the tournament MVP.
Yeah.
So going forward in for this year, you don't have to win the tournament to be the tournament MVP.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So Gilbert was definitely the tournament MVP. Like he caused the most discussion.
Like Jerry West.
It's just like Jerry West.
Yeah.
The first year that they ever awarded a finals MVP, it was awarded to Jerry West on the losing team. Just like Gilbert Arenas.
This is for NBA history, guys. Okay. Okay, Malik Monk is better than Donovan Mitchell is in the final versus Bol is the best. Did he say the best or maybe the best?
I mean, I would have to go double check because this did happen in a preseason game. But I mean, you guys will see the clip in this video. But I'm pretty sure he said maybe he said he could be the best.
Do we know about the sobriety levels of either individual telling the takes?
All I know is that Isaiah Thomas has his own, I think, champagne company. So he definitely does drink. And I got to imagine there's a lot of drinking being done on the Gilbert Arenas podcast set.
Like, Brandon Jennings, I feel like he's maybe one of those guys who's like hooping with the likes of a Donovan Mitchell or a Malik Monk in the summer at runs, and he's like, wow, this guy's really killing these open runs.
And I will say the Malik Monk over Donovan Mitchell thing was kind of saying if Malik Monk had the role that Donovan Mitchell has, he would be just as good or better than Donovan Mitchell. But when I say it like that,
When
it
you
doesn't
say
make
it,
any
it just
better.
makes it worse.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then the Isaiah Thomas one, I feel like it's almost even worse because of his history as an executive for an NBA team.
Mm-hmm.
I just looked up the take by the way, and he says that Bol may be the Phoenix Suns' best ball handler and best passer. That was the wording.
Best ball handler and best passer.
Maybe, yeah.
Yeah. The shooting thing that we were talking about earlier, it actually makes it worse that he didn't include shooting because that's like the one skill that Bol actually legitimately has. Like, I don't see the passing at all from Bol, and definitely the ball handling thing is just like atrocious, especially from like arguably one of the best ball handlers in NBA history in Isaiah Thomas to say something like that.
Yeah, it's like, I don't want to consider who said the take, but it's so hard not to consider the take when this guy was a fucking general manager for an NBA team.
Yeah. Yeah, general manager.
Like, are you telling me that in 2005, this guy would have been like, yeah, let's sign Bol, fuck Kevin Durant?
Yeah. Yes. I mean, he's the kind of... Do you know the Jerome James story? So Isaiah Thomas in I want to say 2002 was the Knicks general manager, like James has been talking about. And this guy on the Sonics, Jerome James, had a really great playoff series. And he threw just so much money at him the next or in the offseason. And it really was one of the key points in the downfall of the Knicks organization, because just before that, I mean, they made the finals.
They were great in the
99.
Yeah.
They were really great throughout the entire 90s. Yeah, really rough take.
Malik
Who are you going with?
I feel like I've been kind of like a Donovan Mitchell truther this whole season. I feel like I've been sticking up for him for a long time.
Yeah.
And I feel like this is my final battle, Patrick. I also did not vote Malik Monk for sixth man.
That's true. Neither did I.
You know what I like about Donovan Mitchell? And what I liked about Naz Reid? They're winners.
They're winners.
So I think I'm going to go with my guy, D. Mitch, to win this tournament. But what do you think? I feel like these are both takes that hit close to us. And yours obviously is dealing with your favorite team, and mine is dealing with one of my favorite guys. So it's kind of very personal to the two of us.
I mean, the funny thing about the Isaiah Thomas thing is I wish it was true. Oh my God, I wish
that'd be
it was
great for
true.
you guys.
We'd be unbeatable. It would be incredible.
Yeah, imagine you guys could just dump it down to Bol at the free throw line.
Yeah.
And he's just this Jokic level passer.
He's just finding all the angles. Oh my God, that would be so great. Hey, Bud's gonna do it for him. He's gonna unlock the ball handling and passing.
Ball handling is crazy. What's he gonna do? Take dudes off the dribble? He's fucking Kyrie Irving out there.
I mean, he can attack a closeout every once in a while, but
can he go behind the back?
Yeah, he can do that. He can dribble between his legs as well, but
legend.
Yeah, I mean, especially that we're doing this right now. I think there was times in the season where I would very easily go towards one of these takes. But after seeing how the 2024 season played out, seeing the levels that all three of these players that we're talking about right now can reach, I think there's only one way I can go. So I'm going to go and give the worst take of the year award to Brandon Jennings with saying that Malik Monk could be better than Donovan Mitchell. It's just insane. Donovan Mitchell is
unhinged.
It's unhinged. He's an easy top 10 player in the league. And Malik Monk, it's not even a thought of giving a max contract to Malik Monk.
What is he slipping the cactus juice down there in Phoenix?
Yeah, he probably is. Yeah.
There is a reason we had to save that one for the real Final Four.
Yeah.
Because it was truly special. Wow. So our worst take of the year is Malik Monk is better than Donovan Mitchell.
Congratulations, Brandon Jennings.
Tournament MVP is going to Gil Arenas for just a flurry of bad and spurring on other people's bad takes.
Yeah. This whole bracket next year might be named the annual Gilbert Arenas worst take of the year bracket.
Yeah. Do you guys want to give shout outs to anybody?
I mean, definitely Colin Cowherd. I think
the Tatum take got worse the more I thought about it.
Yeah, he made a really surprise run this year that I didn't even, going into this, I didn't think we were going to be talking about Colin Cowherd as much as we have.
I want to give a shout out to Skip Bayless. I think he only won worst take of the week twice. Mm-hmm. Never got a worst take of the month.
Yeah. Stephen A.
Really, really good year of being grounded for Skip.
Yeah, really, I got to give a shout out to ESPN as a whole. They didn't have the work. I think going into this, we were like, Kendrick Perkins is going to win some best takes of the month or worst takes of the month. Stephen A. I mean, Skip Bayless doesn't work for ESPN anymore, but none of them were really mainstays in here. I know Stephen A. was in there, but yeah. And then
shout out Kendrick Perkins, I guess.
Yeah, Kendrick Perkins.
Calling himself a better defender than Rudy Gobert was pretty good.
Yeah, that was a pretty good one. But yeah, let us know if you guys want us to do a best take next year.
The best take bracket's not fun.
Yeah, no.
The only thing with the best take bracket that I think would be fun is a little bit more diversity of appearances.
That's true. Yeah, I think even some of these guys could show up on a best take bracket. I know some of them.
Who is most likely to be? Yeah, who was who on this bracket is going to get best? I'm gonna go through it, excluding us. Rashad McCants is never going to appear on best take.
No, he will not.
I don't think Gilbert Arenas is ever going to appear on best take.
I feel like he got nominated. I don't think he ever. I mean, we don't award best takes.
Yeah,
here.
you don't get awarded for saying smart things.
That should be our merch. We don't award best takes.
That should be our merch. I don't think Shaq's ever going to be on best take. I'll be honest.
Yeah, it could be. I don't know. Maybe I could see a world where Shaq fires off a good one, but.
All right, Stephen A. best take. I mean, I don't know. Does Stephen A. never really? I feel like Stephen A.'s best take would have to be he said something really funny and it garnered a laugh type.
That's
of best
true.
Take.
That's true. Also, sneaky thing about this whole bracket is we weren't doing it during the off season, and I feel like that's where Stephen A. can really rack up some numbers.
Yeah, I guess. We're retiring the segment until October, right?
I mean, that's.
I feel like we gotta have a different segment for the summer.
Yeah.
This is an in-season tournament.
This is an in-season tournament. We're raising the in-season tournament banner.
Yeah,
just like the Lakers. But yeah, I mean, this was a
lot of fun. I've been looking forward to this episode more than any other episode all year. This was a fun bracket. I'm kind of. Brandon Jennings out of nowhere. That was a late season edition.
Yeah, that was a late season.
This whole year, Patrick and I were like, this segment got ruined by Isaiah Thomas. Being that stupid this early on. I remember when he said that, me and you were just floored.
You didn't believe me. Because the only reason I saw it is because I'm a sicko and I was watching this Suns-Pistons preseason game. And you didn't believe me that he said it. And then I showed it to you.
Yeah, I feel like I need a Pacers fan or a Orlando Magic fan who's like, oh my God, you guys will not believe what our commentator said.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's the last thing that we need to touch on. throughout thank you guys so much for watching this episode, and throughout next season, help us. Send us on Twitter, on Instagram, even comment in YouTube. Send us your worst takes. Tell us which takes of ours you think are the worst, which you guys do anyways. And send us your best takes too, because I think we'll only make this bigger and more fun from here.
Yeah. Well, thank you guys for watching. You guys have a best take or worst take?
For this week?
Yeah, for this week.
No, I didn't bring anything.
I don't have anything, but I will say that when I was watching the last game of the finals, whenever Stephen A. Smith was talking, I had to turn my TV down because he's too loud.
That's how I feel about Doris Burke.
Yeah. All right. We'll catch you guys on Thursday for draft reaction.
Bop, bop, Doris Burke at the end gets astray.
Yeah, we'll get you guys on Thursday for draft reaction. Yeah.
Yeah, draft reaction, and then we'll see.
Probably go over summer schedule on that podcast. We'll let you guys know. Peace.